Hi, welcome to our collective reading. I'm Empress Rose. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Any interaction with the channel is much appreciated, helps it keep on the algorithmic radar here. And I've very much appreciated all the interactions lately too. That's been really fun. So any interaction with the channel, great. Like, drop an emoji, a comment, anything like that. Wonderful. So I already started, and Mercury retrograde is still just coming to an end right now. So we're restarting, but I did have two cards already pulled on the table. A win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra, and you and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. So this is a bit about like something in the future, unclear as the future tends to be. Which is a little bit why we're here. You and your loved ones are safe, so no need to worry. A certain situation, there's, yes, it's unknown, but you don't need to be fearful or anxious. You can be non-anxious about the situation, and a win-win outcome is forecast. So these two cards together just could not be better. The win-win outcome is forecast is sort of, you know, when all is said and done, when everything's revealed. I'm going to switch the order of those. When all is revealed, it's a balanced, reciprocal relationship at the end of the day. So everybody gets their needs met, maybe not all their wants, but their needs met. There's balance, there's fairness. I want to say there's also equality here. And there's possible legal aspects to this that are of benefit to all parties involved. So there could be a contract too. So I love this beginning. It's not full of details, but it is telling us no worries. No worries, everything's going to turn out fine. So like that. And we're moving to the oldie but goodie. Well, Moonology also started off this channel, and then we also have Oracle of Mystical Moments. You'd think I'd know that by now, the name of it. So interesting. The Art of Seduction, and this is a win-win outcome is forecast. These two seem to go together for me, even though the art of seduction feels like is always sort of an unbalanced relationship. But it's really interesting that it seems to be correlating with the win-win outcome is forecast. There's a sense of needing to talk somebody into something, maybe a sales job here, a little bit of convincing. Also, the art of seduction always reminds me of sort of two people with very different motivations. So I love this win-win outcome is forecast though, because I feel like we're starting up with two different motivations. People, there's very strong relationship vibes here. Okay, we're definitely talking about relationship. You and your loved ones are safe. A win-win outcome is forecast. And then the art of seduction comes in. So I think that's really interesting because the groundwork for this reading is that it's okay. Everything's safe. You're going to be fine. This is okay. There is a little bit of a sales job going on here, or two very different motivations or multiple different motivations here. One person may be looking just to have a good time, and another person may be looking for something more serious. Someone may be, you know, more sexual in a situation, someone more intellectual in the situation. So there could be a heart and head situation, and the heart is trying to convince the head of something. The heart wants to be the driver here, and the head wants to be clear-eyed and logical. So these two seem to be sort of sorting themselves out, working together, not working together, but will be working together. The heart's trying to convince. How does the heart convince the head to do something though? Because this is logic, different world, different terms, different words, this is like words, logic, and hearts over here, and hearts and creativity and all of that is over here. It doesn't necessarily have great tools for appealing to the logic realm, because the logic realm has these rules and regulations, and the heart realm is going to have a hard time convincing the head of something because they speak different languages. And the language that the head needs to hear, a very rigid thing, isn't, the heart doesn't have that, right? It's just two different ways of viewing the world, two different ways of viewing a situation, which is what I keep getting, is there's two different ways of viewing the situation. And the heart just has its own language. There's a language barrier between the heart and the head, right? This is logic, and the feelings can't convince the logic of anything because they don't have the right words, the right tools. So there's an emotional plea that the mind may be having difficulty grasping. And our foundation here for this reading, though, is that everything turns out okay. Everything's fine. So there may have been like different motivations going into a relationship. Putting those out on the table is seems to work, seems to be a good idea. What does the heart want? Or what does this person want? What does that person want? And there's an emotional plea going on here. I want to say sales job. I want to say, yeah. Anyway, all is connected, and this is interesting too. Like with the foundation set here, all is connected, and this always reminds me of, well, we have fall coming in here too. You pull a little string, and this is the Anansi. This is the Anansi card, the storyteller. I also want to say there's something about red clothes that seems very clear to me here. There's something about a red item of clothing. Could be an accessory, could be a dress, could be shoes. Anyway, but we pull this thread and it changes everything because it's all interconnected. So we change the way we talk about something. And there again, we're having the language, the way we talk about something, the way we view something, the logic behind something. We change that and everything changes. It could be somebody else is in a state that's affecting you, and maybe even in ways you're not even aware of. But you're connected to this person. There is connection here. I want to say there is connection between the heart and the head. They are connected. They just may be having some difficulty communicating. And this could be an external relationship as well. Yes, you are connected to somebody. You are connected to this situation, but the heart and the head are having some kind of difficulty communicating. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to go see what made that noise. All right, well, we took care of that. So, the art of seduction too. Yeah, it's looking like someone's trying to convince somebody of something. And there could be love, there could be passion. Something very passionate. Somebody is very passionate about something and is sort of bringing that passion to somebody else and wants them to really engage with this thing that they're passionate about, is trying to bring attention to something. There's some convincing. So it could be like, I want to start this business and I'm going to go talk to a loan officer for that, to talk them into giving me a loan. Or it could be an idea that one part of a couple has and the other one's not so sure about it, but one is really loves this idea and really wants this other person to come along with them on this idea. So there's some convincing going on here, but it does have to do with passion. All is connected to, it's just a small movement. There are changes, the winds of change have come, and a small movement lets go of a story, of a way that we are telling the story. You are solid in these winds of change. Things have come, changes have come. It's a new season, but it has a sense that everything is changing. There's loss. There's this stump here. She's sitting on a stump. Letting go of things. And maybe even letting go of a narrative. Letting go of how you know things should be. Maybe someone's trying to convince you of something. And there's this sense of needing to let go of how you think this is going to turn out. Or how... letting go of the last season of your life. There's a sense of the story and the threads that connect everything. And I think there's a sense too of like the letting go of something isn't, it is loss, but there's also a constancy within change. The only constant in life is change, right? And you're not losing your connection to something. By letting go, you'll always be connected to something even when you let it go. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing there. All right, let's move on to the tarot. It does seem to be a relationship. Everything's connected even though it's all changing. All right, from the bottom of the deck, underlying, we have the Hermit card, Virgo vibes, which we are now in Virgo season, fairly solidly. Something that's interesting because we have the full moon in Libra, you and your loved ones are safe, and yet then and this connection between two people where there's some passion and some thought going into the passion as well. And then we have the Hermit card, which is like being alone, being solo, doing things solo. So maybe we're on the cusp of some sort of change with that. But needing to do something alone, or something you've been doing alone. And sometimes, traveling alone, we get to follow our own intuition. When I love to travel by myself often because I can go down whatever street I want. I don't have to have a discussion about it. I can go to whatever, site, see whatever sites I want to see, and there's no discussion, there's no compromise, there's no, solution needing to be found. I just get to follow my own intuition. And this is a bit of that, like following your own intuition and the freedom to do that. There's a cost benefit analysis with joining forces with somebody else, traveling with somebody else, because you're going to have to do some things that they want to do, and you might need to convince them to do something you want to do. That doesn't happen when you're just by yourself. Past, present, inner landscape, what's the issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Well, look who shows up here. King of Coins. There have been a lot of personal readings where the King of Coins is in this exact position too. Recent past, King of Coins. This could be a father. This could be a boss. This could be even a sugar daddy lover that has some money, has some coin. This is someone who has invested in either time, energy, or money. There's a technical aspect to this person's life and livelihood. They've made decisions. What I'm seeing here is they've had to cut things out. They have made cuts, and part of their focused energy has been about things that have been cut out, things that have been removed, severed, divided. And part of their investment has involved like division of things. And that, even though that's very counterintuitive, it is part of their investment. This person's been fairly patient, very wise. They're definitely forward thinking. This is one who brings home the bacon. They like the bacon. They have fed their investments. And for some reason, that also involves, the investment also involves cutting things out. So a lot of money or success. I usually see the court cards as a person. But it could be a vibe of just having been successful at something, having seen something all the way through to its full fruition, and gained from it. So someone who has had time, and time enough to invest, right? When you're younger, you're not, your investments haven't paid off yet, but this person's has. So this could be a father as well. Current situation, Page of Swords. Oh, there's some people here. We have the king. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. I like where it's going, but we go through a little bit of a rocky patch here. Page of Swords, current situation, learning. Someone's learning, as this is the student vibe, the student vibe. Reading up on something, theoretically learning something, learning how to use words, learning a new language, perhaps, right? We had the art of seduction of learning a new language. Someone maybe is learning a new language. Um, a leap of faith here. This is a person that's learning to speak. It's new. It could be a little unsafe too, because they're so new at something. They may not know what they're doing or really how to talk about something. There's someone could be going back to school. It is Virgo season, the time we go back to school. So there could be a student going back to school here. Yeah, it's swords, so it's the intellectual part, but it's new. Just figuring something out, just starting to understand something. It's a place of humility, though. Like, we don't need to wield this huge sword. There's some care that needs to be involved in the information that is coming in. And what you're learning, there needs to be some caution, because the growth is all ahead of you. If we were going to chart, or this person, if we were going to chart, the curve, the learning curve, we've got the learning curve, and we've got the king up here. The king of coins is up here. Already learned all that stuff. And then we have our pages are down here. They're just starting to look at that curve. So if we're wielding the sword, we're way down here. And so I think people kind of need to keep a little distance, give a wide berth here. So as someone's learning something and just starting to learn the vocabulary of something, or how to talk about something, or reading up on something, someone could be reading up on new things. So your inner landscape, hopes, fears, and inner landscape. You'd like a new job? You'd like a new job. It's Page of Cups, not Page of Coins, Page of Cups. So again, we have another page. We have someone way at the bottom of this learning curve. I've always found it useful in any activity to really chart where I'm at the learning curve, because it can get really frustrating to be down here. But if you realize, hey, wait, I just started this, there's this whole thing that is going to unfold. There's a whole learning process in front of me that I'm unaware of, that I still have quite a bit to learn, So, and then starting that learning process and realizing at any point in your life that you're going to be a page. So maybe you have been a king of coins and you have this certain level of expertise. You've invested time, energy, you have a certain level of expertise in something, and now we're starting a whole new journey, a whole new path, and you have to go back to beginner mind. So pages are the beginner. It can be hard to go back to a beginner mind after having been a king. And then we go to beginner. We're just beginning a new path, a new thing, learning how to talk about something, reading up on something. Your Page of Cups, I think you is your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape. So maybe you're thinking about somebody, but you're showing up as wanting to discover something. Maybe you're reading up on a certain topic and you want something to resonate with you, to spark with you, to feel good. I'm getting that too from this new moon in Cancer as Page of Cups energy. this desire to have your heart sparked. Maybe you want a surprise. You're reading something, looking for a surprise, looking for something to delight you. Connection. You're looking for a connection. You want to feel connected to something. And maybe you're just reading up on something and you don't feel connected because, right, again, we have the head and the heart here. Same as this, the head and the heart. We have this connection, but right now there's just a lot of intellectual stuff going on. But what we long for actually is a heart connection to something. And I think our mind is sort of confusing us a little bit. We might be very bewildered by a topic. And it's not so much that we need the mental mastery of something. It's that we want to feel connected to it. We want to feel it resonate with us. And maybe even we want to be surprised by it. We want to feel that connection. We want to feel surprised. Seeing like things that are places where they don't belong. Like we have a cow in the sky. We have a fish in the cup. We have maybe something very unusual happening. And you're looking at the intellect. What you really want is an emotional connection with this unusual thing, this unusual event, or this unusual communication. You're longing to connect with something or with someone. What's at issue here is the Emperor in reverse. I don't like the Emperor in reverse typically. It has narcissistic vibes. It has irresponsibility, self-centered leadership, which isn't really leadership. The Emperor is out of sorts. The Emperor isn't making any sense. There's either no boss here anymore. There's nobody in charge anymore. Who's supposed to be in control does not seem to be in control of themselves either. Like the Emperor, out of control, authority, either a lack of authority, maybe you don't have a choice here. Because the Emperor is all about like who's controlling the situation, maybe even who's controlling the narrative. And there's the Emperor in reverse is a total lack of control. Either the situation is out of control, or a person in the situation is out of control, but they have this like, they might have a position where they need to be, where they are supposed to be self-controlled, supposed to be self-contained, supposed to be a divine right to rule. So it's also coming through as like a pretender to the throne. But there's this like calm aspect to it. So maybe there's just nobody in charge right now. Or there's just who's in control. There might be just confusion about who's supposed to be in control, who's in charge of something, who has the right to say something or be something. Nobody seems to be in a leadership position right now. Either the person that is in the leadership position is not leading, or is missing, or is not providing clear direction because they lack it themselves, or for whatever reason they're not providing clear direction. Or there's just like a vacuum of leadership here. I'm hearing like no gods, no masters. Nobody's in charge right now. You know, and we call that anarchy, but anarchy, it's nobody's in charge anyway. It's all kind of who felt like getting there, who felt like that would be fun to be in charge. Yeah, this Emperor in reverse, it's not giving me the creeps this time. It's just a miss, an authoritative miss. Authority missing its mark, or authority is missing, or it's just confusing. And then in your environment, we have judgment. So mixed with this Libra card too, it almost seems like there's legal aspects here. Judgment definitely reminds me of legal aspects. Someone's coming back with a decision, which is interesting because the Emperor doesn't seem to be like involved in the decision. So results, feedback. Yeah, and in the environment, a decision's been made. Conclusions have been come to, not by you, but in some other realm. So maybe there's no judge, but there's a jury. That doesn't seem right, but it's out of, there's a lack of control here. Anyway, perhaps you tried something new regarding communication. It's something you'd really love. There's a lack of authority or something going on there with that Emperor in reverse. I just don't get a creepy vibe from it. When I'm checking in with my feelings about how I feel about it, normally I'm like, Emperor in reverse, I hate it, I hate it. It's just so, it doesn't seem like terrifying to me right now. It just seems sort of like, well, there's a changing of the guard perhaps, or just nobody's in charge for a while. I don't know. But anyway, there's a decision that's been made here, which is interesting since the judge seems to be missing. There's a decision that's being made about something. Somebody's coming back with, or maybe just some feedback. No, it seems pretty decisive, actually. It's a selection process, and they've made their selections. So this person or someone around you has already made a decision, already made some sort of selection, or has already done their part. They may be in communicating that with you. There's feedback involved. There's yeah, you may have tried something new and you're getting feedback on it. And then Seven of Cups. You have a lot of choices and decisions. That's you. That's your to-do list. Sorting through it all. Sort through your decisions. Sort through your choices. You will intuitively know, and this is maybe something that you've done alone. You may intuitively know something that you want, and this is encouraging you to sort of sort through things. It's reminding me of a huge opportunity I was given when I was 22. It just sort of fell in my lap. I had done something and put it out there, and someone had seen it and then contacted me and was like, oh, I had been in a play. Some other director had come and seen that play, and unbeknownst to me, had arranged this whole situation for me to be flown out every weekend to their situation to be the lead in their thing. And I couldn't see the future. I couldn't see where this was all going. I just was like, well, no, I have to work on Saturdays. I didn't even calculate out, how much, where I could have made that money up or anything. And I just said no, and then quit acting altogether. So that's what this is reminding me of. I think I was 21, 22. So that's what this is reminding me of is that you may have an instinctual feeling about something, but still just go through it and explore all of the options, all of the possibilities. Maybe the way you're seeing it unfold, maybe there are other options, which is what I didn't do. I just was like, oh, this seems too complicated to figure out. And so I said no to this beautiful, amazing opportunity because I just didn't go through all the possibilities and all the options. And that's what this is reminding me of, is maybe there are more options than your mind initially wants to, can see. And we're seeing that with Page of Swords too here. We're seeing like this baby mind that's maybe just super focused, not even noticing this like cow jumping through the air and these unusual things, because it just really focused on this one thing. which maybe is a difficult concept to grasp or has been a little difficult, but there are a lot of options. There's a lot of ways to do something. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And so this is encouraging you to look at all of those ways of incorporating something into your life, doing something differently, or going towards something that you want, that you love, but looking at it from a couple different ways. Again, we have the heart and the head here, and the Seven of Cups to me is always like an intellectual approach to what's ultimately going to be an emotional decision. So yeah, and then we have the head and the heart here. Babies new at something, the head and the heart. And this could be two different people. One of them's just very intellectually focused, and one of them's more emotionally focused. You in this situation would be the one that's more emotionally focused. So an intellectual approach to what's ultimately an emotional decision, looking at all your options, kind of debating them all. No knee-jerk reactions here is what I'm saying. We're not doing a knee-jerk reaction. We got to get the head and the heart sort of aligned. So, you know, in my example, I was like head focused, but just actually too focused on, well, I got to make my rent. I can't lose my Saturday hours. So no, without looking at any other options. Heart was shut out of the whole conversation. So that's what, you don't want to do that. So you, so anyway, so no knee-jerk reactions, no quick decisions, really looking and exploring different things and different aspects of it. And yeah, and the end of the day, you may make an emotional decision about something, but in the meantime, it's important that you do make your pro-con list. So Six of Wands, win-win, win-win, win-win outcome is forecast. You win, everybody wins. You do what you want, you get there, you succeed, and there's a whole bunch of people that are really happy about that. This is the win-win outcome. It is forecast. It's forecast twice here. Win-win outcome is forecast. Looking at all the options, it might not be, you know, whether to do this thing. Somebody makes a decision and tells you about it, and whether to go along with it. It may not be like a yes or no. It may just be like, okay, well, yes, I'm going to do this. Here, if you're going somewhere, do you want to go by train? Do you want to go by bus? Do you want to rent a car? Do you want to stay at a friend's house? Do you want to stay at a hotel? Do you want to do an Airbnb? There could be a lot of different decisions involved in this, and maybe not a yes or no decision, but looking at a couple different options of how you can approach something. So, but yeah, win-win outcome forecast. So do your intellectual duty, but at the end of the day, making a hard decision, and it's a win-win for everybody. So, and it's pretty low risk here. Everybody's safe. There's not like a big, if an opportunity comes, it's an opportunity that's, what do I want to say? Like, it's an opportunity, it adds to your life. It doesn't wreck your life. It doesn't ruin your life. It's something that would add to it. There's not a downside here to something. All right. So we're going to close this up with a goddess. We're going to do a goddess and then a feather. So I'm going to just cut the deck here. What have we got? Baba Yaga, be fearless and bold. Yeah, well, Six of Wands, we're victory. We're coming home with a victory from battle. We didn't get that victory by being meek, by being quiet and allowing ourselves to get run over. No, we did the running over, if anybody's running over. So, Baba Yaga, fearless, moving forward. Not even, well, she's not really even looking at the obstacles so much as all the opportunities, all the things that she wants. She's looking at those. Not focused on the obstacles, but focused on beyond the obstacles. Doing what she wants and not giving a care about, you don't think I can fly through the air in a cast iron cauldron? That's fine. That's your brain. This is my brain. My brain says I can. So fearlessness. I like that too, because this is basically like, don't be afraid. Don't be worried. And then we're going to grab a feather. precious feathers. Okay. What do you think? That's really funny. Woodpecker. Use your discernment and fortitude to achieve your goals and find a new rhythm. Yeah, discernment and fortitude to achieve your goals. Fearlessness. Find a new rhythm. And I'm going to read that one because we've got good, these have such good mantras. Woodpecker. I align thought, wisdom, and fortitude in all my actions. This pecking is their call, sometimes called the drumbeat, in lieu of song. The connection to drumming is mystical as well as shamanic. The drumbeat is called the heartbeat of Mother Earth and can symbolize new rhythms and paths opening. So a new cycle, a new pattern, a new habit, a new habit. The coloring of the woodpecker is black and white, sometimes with a red cap. The red reflects the awakening of new mental energies and the power of the mind. We have the power of the mind here, the power of the mind here, and the power of the mind. But I think there's a wisdom with the heart. And again, we have that red spot, right? We've got some sort of red piece of clothing. Now I'm seeing a hat. We've got a cape, we've got a scarf, we've got a hat. So fortitude, fearlessness, moving forward to achieve your goals. All right, well, I hope that was helpful. I felt a little sleepy doing that. So hopefully I didn't put you to sleep too. Or maybe I did, and maybe that was good. Maybe that's what you needed. All right, well, we'll talk again later. Thanks for joining me with these.